Start the game.
So far the gods are gonna be apparently quite interesting all around. Well, let's get rid of the music already. As you're gonna be starting. That will be... Guisao is gonna be playing Really? Really? Gaia, not on water? Thinking he might have forgotten to switch. Might have forgot the switch. Might have forgotten, yeah. That was the correct English, it really was. For a moment wasn't sure that. But Pisca is gonna be then Zeus, Hero OP Loki. That makes sense, of course, for him. Matreus Zeus also makes sense. Tompexas Ra, why not? He was playing alright. And Sparks is gonna be playing Thor. Alright, so basically not all that dissimilar civilizations. Just of course Domantas is replaced by Hero OP. Replaced by Hero OP in here. That's gonna be a switch from Hades into Thor. Kinda guess why not. Doesn't matter. Not entirely certain what's gonna be better, but probably is thinking that he needs to go Thor to basically counter the potential Ragnarok of the opponent of Sparks. Because Sparks 6 Ragnarok was pretty strong. That was pretty strong in the first game.
Start the game already.
Yeah, it was the delay here. And here we go, with the second game of the quarterfinals. As of course, ONUs need to hurry up a bit, because if it was another 40 minutes game, it's almost looking like they wouldn't be able to actually play the decider. And I wouldn't kinda blame them, because we are already almost 2 hours after the start time. It was taking quite a bit of time to set up the connections and whatnot. But yeah, well, here we are. You're gonna be starting on the Valley of Kings, as everybody is gonna be right next to each other. You can see, having plenty of food for themselves. A bit of a chickens right there for everybody, a few rhinos as well. It's gonna be one here, one here. Apparently everybody's gonna be having one rhino, which should be resulting into the fact that maybe yellow is also having one somewhere close by. Let's see if it's true or not. Definitely should be. But he's having a skeleton. That's better than a rhino. That's better than a rhino, that's more cool. Here he is, yes. Everybody having one rhino in here. Of course, on the other side, it's apparently gonna be the same. They're also gonna be having the rhinos everywhere if they can actually discover them. Otherwise, plenty of zebras for Ukas. And potentially even more. Even a whole lot more coming right now down on the map, but they have already discovered one of the first TCs. As far as I know, and if I remember correctly, the TCs are kinda close by, not really going somewhere far into the middle of the map. There are gonna be actually back TCs, that's gonna be about 2. I'm not entirely certain if the third one is gonna be to the top or also kinda halfway to the bottom. You're gonna see pretty soon, I guess. But otherwise, of course, this is gonna be fairly standard map as far as start goes. But then it's gonna be all about this, the bandit Migdals guarding all the gold mines. All the gold mines in here. So there's gonna be 1, 2, there's probably gonna be 1 hidden in that. Should be probably 3, I'm thinking. If I remember correctly, that's usually how it is. That's usually how it is, and that's gonna be, of course, meaning that if you want to advance your economy forward, which is gonna be, of course, especially important for the player, or Tompix, he will definitely need to get rid of the Migdals so that he can fully control them, and potentially even just drop a Migdal of his own in the place of the old one, and in that way control plenty of gold for himself. Well, let's see what kind of plan are actually ONUs having. I'm kinda slightly surprised that they didn't go for sudden death, but maybe they thought, yeah, well, we've already shown plenty of it before in the group stage, so let's just play something a bit different. So I'm definitely hoping they have some extra plan. I'm slightly curious what's going on with the Gaia. On a map like this, yeah, maybe some kind of economy help to his allies, could be. That's not a bad idea, the Mantas right there. That could be definitely true. But yeah, we're gonna be seeing in just a few minutes, I'm kinda guessing. Anyway, cheaper villages, great, very good relic. What's about the second one that is right next to double elephants? It's definitely gonna be good help to the economy of Hero OP after the Rhino. But of course, all of those zebras are gonna be quite helpful to the purple player, as he's already taking advantage of them. So yep, that's gonna be nice for him, and of course for his allies as well. Otherwise, trio of helpful monkeys, that's gonna be useful in potentially the early fights in there, as otherwise the players at the bottom side are discovering what extra zebras as well. That's gonna be helping them, of course, right next to a very important relic in there. As elsewhere, is there something interesting? Just the Migdol that is just basically still hiding all of the gold mines around itself, and one lone baboon. Well, there is a bit of water as well, but that's just basically some kind of little oases and ponds and whatnot. Nothing really all that important. You cannot dock it, or rather you can dock it, but you're not gonna get any economy from that, of course. There's absolutely nothing in there. As we see, and relic that is for archers, ballista, Cairo, ballista, LOS and range. Interesting, but we don't have the Hades, but still it could be at least marginally interesting for the ballistae. For the Thors after Ragnarok, that could be interesting for them. But in the meantime, we are almost at 4 minutes and we're gonna be looking at the gods. So apparently Hermes for the Zeus makes sense. Then it's gonna... Well then, a Heimdall, or rather for... Oh, I'm completely blind. For a moment, I was really believing this is Heimdall. Of course not, this is nothing unusual then. Yeah, oh man, just streaming too many different games lately than AOM, so sorry. That's gonna be fairly standard, of course, from the Loki, as he is playing that in the end, switching back from the Thor that he was having selected there for a moment. But of course, Hermes quite fast right now from Piske, about 420, and that's gonna be Ptah. And for the other players, Freya for the Thor, and on the right side, it's gonna be Oceanus for the Gaia. So is there already some kind of sling going on, as Domantas was saying in the chat? Nope. Nope, at least not yet. He didn't even go for the second TC. Potentially, if he was slinging, I'm thinking he would be going for the second TC in the Archaic Age, because he would be sticking to that for a bit longer. But yeah, well, that's apparently not gonna be what is gonna happen. As in the meantime, Sparks is waiting next to a TC, and is he like trying to capture it, or... It's almost looking like that he is actually really thinking about it. He's actually taking a back TC in there, which is interesting choice, because it seems like that this is actually his back TC. But it's kind of not safe. You can see that this Migdal would probably be able to shoot it at least a bit. At least a bit in there. As in the meantime, of course, in the middle, there's gonna be a bit of raiding. Attempted at least by the centaurs, but one of them is already killed. That was from... It was actually from... someone else. Not entirely certain whom, I'm thinking. But yeah, Bolt has been used against Troll. Not entirely certain it was all that warranted. But still, one of the Centaurs is dead. And the two ones from right now, Matreus, are gonna be arriving in the enemy base pretty soon. Pretty soon in here. Okay, so he's already scouting quite plenty ahead. He has discovered some extra TCs behind, which is gonna be helping, of course, right now to Matreus, because he's having double Elise in there with a few hyenas as well. That's gonna be good for food source anyway. And the TCs are really kind of funny spawned. It seems like they're gonna be two at the back in there, and one a bit more to the side, which is basically the same as it is on the other side of the map. So yeah, this is Sparks' TC, and he's gonna be kind of stealing it from his ally, which is not exactly great. It's gonna be potentially a bit problematic, but they will have to kind of make up for that and hope that they are still gonna be emerging victorious in the end. Which is, of course, the hope for the other players as well. Even Jason and Odysseus are gonna be helping with the Ellie. Yeah, it almost cost the life of the villager in there. Well, had to be careful in here, but still quite nice walling, trying to basically protect from some kind of raiding or whatnot. This is a nice wood line for that, for the protection as well, but at the same time it could be slightly problematic for, of course, the attacks. But here we go, this is the reason for the Gaia, and the Gaia was cast, or rather used, because of the forest fire, and trying to take down the TC, which is completely failing at this point. Absolutely completely failing, because the army of Hero OP is very well prepared. Yep, it's not gonna be losing this, and even though the rain is a nice idea, I was just talking about that quite plenty games before. It would be super cool if actual rain counteracted the forest fire. It would be super cool interaction. I think it would be making plenty of sense. It would be just a viable use for the rain, other than like about two uses that it has. One use is blocking god powers, and second, of course, the main one is getting the food. So yeah, so I think a bit of a shame. I think it's a bit of a shame that there is not any kind of interaction like that. At any rate, I was also looking at the center right now, trying to find something to kill and raid. Apparently he's already alone, so the second one is dead in here. Yep, the corpse line and decomposing. And otherwise, I was also thinking about the forest fire. Imagine the forest fire being cast here. It will be eating about half of the forest, maybe even more. It will be one hell of a forest fire in there. But still, even though this failed, this early attack failed, I'm thinking that Onus are not really out of the game altogether. They can still basically continue without any kind of problem, without any kind of issue at all. They just basically lost two god powers, of which one is not all that important, the forest fire, usually. because it's usually misused. So, yeah, let's be clear about that. It's not really that usefully used lately in the community. But much more importantly, one of the trees out of 4, who cares? Like, who cares, really? It's not gonna be any kind of problem. So basically they gave it a shot, didn't work out. But yeah, what's the problem? They at least kept plenty of Hersiers basically home without any kind of raiding or whatnot. They just now gonna be arriving in the enemy base. And much more importantly, they are also basically forcing the enemy to waste plenty of resources on the repair. That's costing actually plenty of resources to repair this from about quarter of the hit points that it was having. So while that didn't work out, some kind of collateral damage is still there, and I think it was well worth it. And it's much more importantly, it wasn't any kind of all-in from ONUs, and they are still quite in the game. Still quite in the game. Well, in the meantime, of course, we have seen some heroic ages. Let's see how the economies are going and some extra upgrades, which we are not gonna be learning about here, because of course we are not on a map that is having this. So we're gonna have to basically just check around and whatnot, which is 30C for Sparks. That's one hell of a boom for him, and it seems like he's hurrying up for another quite significantly fast Ragnarok. And this is not half bad. This is plenty of villages dead. And even the hyenas there are gonna help. This is funny. This is funny. Yeah, but luckily for him, they're actually targeting the wrong villages in there, so it's not really that much of a problem. Oh, well. Maybe this one is gonna kill her. Well, him. Apparently not at long time, or rather at long last. And in the end, so that was a bit of luck in there for him. As of course, Dread is, he has lost about 5 villages in there, which is deadly, but he is still moving for the TC in the front, so not really that much of a problem for him. In the meantime, ONU seem to be having the situation around their bases kind of well in hand. They are slowly but surely advancing forward, but unfortunately for them, Tompix is already controlling the middle. He's having double Migdol's dropped right next to front TC, which is not his. I think it's not his. I think this is actually ONU's TC. Looking how the map is spawned, yeah, this is ONU's, which is of course right now gonna be a problem for Organization of Natural Uppers, because with the control of it for Tompex, then well, potentially this could be quite close by to them for mercenaries and whatnot, and that's always gonna be hard to fight against for them. So yeah, that's that. Bit of a scouting right now by almost that scout, AK Centaur, who is just now fully dead. As a relic for better scout unit LOS, which is not really useful all that much at this point, but maybe for the Ulfsaks it could be useful, and for the Skrelin as well. So in the end, not really all that bad, as we are of course looking at a bit of an attempt at attack by Ukaz while trying to push into enemy bases. And well, it seems like a pretty good army. Pretty good army indeed at this point, and especially since you can see that Mateusz is still very much keeping alive all those centaurs. They are pretty significant problem to Atlanteans. Yeah, Atlanteans usually are having issues with them. You can see the battle boar already from yellow, who is hurrying up into the Mythical Age and into the Ragnarok and whatnot. Those battle boars are an issue, even against the Jason, as the Jason is almost dead and he's just not really strong enough. He definitely could be using the help of Odysseus, which is exactly what's gonna happen now, it seems like. So Hippigons are gonna be unit of choice for Mateusz. Makes good sense, that's gonna be helpful, especially considering that Camelry and of course Hersiers are the complement to all of that. So this seems like a pretty good idea as an attack, and this is a very good spawn for this opportunity. Very good spawn for the opportunity with the Heimdall, or rather with the Heimdall unit, of course, Eineyar. And this is gonna be even resulting into the ceasefire before flaming weapons are used. So we are having ceasefire by Piske. That's gonna be meaning basically free flaming weapons for the opponents, and oh man, is that gonna be an issue? Is that gonna be an issue right now for Onus? But he could be already advancing through Balder. He is. How's it looking with his economy? Okay, Guisao actually probably slung him. I'm really thinking that Guisao slung him, so that's the reason why he's advancing so fast. 73 villages, 30 seconds. That's gonna be exactly as he advances. So yes, and you can see, yeah, Guisao slung him into very powerful Ragnarok. This is a very good strategy. Very good strategy indeed. And this is some kind of finally novelty in the old cobwebs and dungeons of Age of Mythology the Titans. Thank you. Some new strategy finally. It might not be brand new, but it's just not done. It's not used. And this is one of the first uses. I think in the first game something similar happened, because that was the reason for the fully upgraded Ragnarok that soon. Even though you can do pretty good Ragnarok at about 30 minutes with water. Well, thinking there was a bit of a sling at play as well. So, well, that's that. Doesn't need to lose any villages. And of course, the upgrades are already slowly trickling in bronze, copper, and whatnot. And there is gonna be iron shield. And in the other ones, nothing yet, but it's gonna be coming up soon. Gonna be coming up soon as we are looking at Underworld Passage. Here again, basically the same strategy as in the first game. That is Underworld Passage behind the base. That's gonna be finally the famed TC that stood the test of time and the big fire of Rome in the early stages of the game. But yeah, this time it's gonna be falling most definitely. And it's probably gonna be also stolen. And since the bases are so close by, it's gonna be also costing those TCs, I'm thinking, from Mateusz and from Tompix. And this is actually quite a nice idea to be picking this map for that kind of strategy. That's very well played by ONU, very well thought through. Because they're gonna be taking all of the economies out from their opponents. Yeah, they're gonna be killing plenty of this here. And oh, don't tell me this is another drop. Survive, please, connection, survive. It seems like that it might, and with the upgrades still coming up, they are really baseline, and the iron shields are supremely important to defend against all the TCs. Yeah, well, unfortunately, going for the masons here is a bit too late, especially since you're making villages first. Yeah, for that you would have to switch off auto queue or something. Yeah, well, it's just not working. Anyway, this is right now gonna be hero OP coming in, and ceasefire for Mateusz. Come on, Mateusz, TC. Oh well. Oh, he screwed up. Oh, this is a massive screw up. This is a screw up of epic proportions, because this is given a TC to Sparks ×2. What the hell? How could this have happened? No, I cannot get the resources right now, but oh well. No. What just happened here? This could be just throw in the game right there. This could be just throw in the game right here. Because losing this economy is gonna be so deadly to Mateusz at this point. Oh man, this is gonna be a very interesting game right now. Because all the army from Guisao is here. They're gonna be able to defend this very well. Very well, and of course with the town centers in there for the extra fire. What are the opponents gonna do? Bit of raiding by Dumpix apparently on the villages. That's potentially gonna be working, if he noticed. Which I'm not all that certain that he actually did right about now. But he's slowly but surely pushing forward also. He has taken the TC in there. Flaming weapons are gonna be coming for Sparks, of course. And that will be a bit more of a problem in here, because ceasefire is gone. And the Heroes of Ragnarok with some extra upgrades through, of course. Bronze line in there coming through during the ceasefire. They're gonna be even more deadly. And not enough towers are right now being built, even though there are plenty of them. So nice reaction. That should be helping Tompix to maybe even defend himself, I'm thinking. Shouldn't be that bad. As at the back he was able to transport about 5 Heroes of Ragnarok. At this point, absolutely better than nothing. Absolutely better than nothing. Well, is it gonna be enough? Not entirely certain, because of course all the supporting units right now by ONU's actually pushing forward into this position. It's gonna be very hard. Very hard in there. And of course, with the extra Heroes of Ragnarok coming top, are they though gonna be strong enough? I'm thinking he might be underestimating the position a bit, especially looking at all those villages. Like all those villages, and of course the military academies in there for the Hypaspis. Yeah, this is gonna be close, but with right now, it's not gonna be close. Yeah, with this, with the flaming weapons just now getting basically extinguished, it's looking like this is gonna be failing, so there's gonna be a lot of units thrown away. And here it seems to be the same, so he should have just gone for one. If he gone for either of those, either fully for this one at the bottom, which he should have, or either fully for the one at the top, he would have gotten them. He would have gotten at least one. Right now he's losing all the units everywhere and not getting a single one. Yeah, that's gonna... Well, he might in the end at least kill this one, but he's not getting it for himself. But this is just kinda showing you, trying to get too much, and then in the end, not really getting, not really getting anything in the end. Well, anyway, let's go back somewhere else. This is just a few villages saved from some kind of raiding and whatnot. It seems that actually Mateusz significantly doesn't have enough economy to deal with his opponent, which is a bit surprising. But at this time, since he has lost the TC and this economy, this is exactly exactly the result of what I was talking about before. That this lost economy for Matreus in right next to his main DC is gonna be costing him. And even though under normal circumstances he would be able to stop this army, he isn't. Because his economy is in tatters. And in the end, it's working for Sparks, even though, to be honest, it shouldn't have. Because I think he tried to do a bit too much. He tried to do a bit too much in there. But yeah, well, it's working. TC is his. Yet again, Mateus's economy right now is completely gone. He's having like nothing. He's having just a few villages on the wood in here, and that's about it for him. And then he's running for his life for the hills on the left side. But yeah, that seems like that it's gonna be up to Tompex. Tompex is the one who is basically fully in the game. But TC is 201 against 125. Well, what can you do? Has to be said the 5 TCs for a post-Ragnarok Thor, which usually is having a bit of a downtime in making use of all of those. But of course, all the extra TCs are gonna be helping with rebuilding the economy as fast as possible. As fast as possible in there. But yeah, well, let's see how the attempts to actually take the TCs in there are gonna be succeeding. As the TC on the left has been killed as well in the end through the use of the boars, but the Heroes of Ragnarok didn't kill it. So in the end it worked out for Sparks, so I'm kinda thinking if I should owe him an apology or not. I'm still thinking he lost units needlessly, but in the end he probably was expecting that he's gonna be receiving the help from his allies and from the boars, so in the end it worked alright for him. So yeah. Let's apologize to him. It seemed to be working exactly towards his advantage, but the boars are also coming against him, and it seems that this TC is gonna be coming back for the enemies of Onus. And Ukas are gonna be slowly trying to crawl back into the game. As they drop in Sparks to 4 TC, this is gonna be taken by Topics back to 3. And they somehow though need to get rid of the underworld passage. They haven't made a single attempt on it yet. Plenty of villages there potentially for the taken. For Raiden by Onus, and still this TC is wide open, which potentially could be taken by Onus, but looking at this rock and the Petsuchos, that's probably the reason why it isn't. In the meantime, of course, you can see that Tompix is trying to push forward. He is having a very nice establishment in the middle. He is definitely controlling this part of the map, but he kind of needs to get rid of all the Petroboli, and if he can get this TC as well, then maybe, just maybe, there could be an interesting way into the middle, into the heart of the enemy base. You can see the economy is not that far away from the battlefield. This is definitely raidable. It is definitely raidable, and so is, interestingly enough, the Underworld Passage. It could be attacked from this side. Just send a few catapults there, if you can, advance into the Mythical Age, and maybe that could be done that way. But it still seems a bit easier from this part. Yeah, you can see you can already have a few military buildings in here. Military buildings in there, but unfortunately it doesn't seem that Ukas are having enough push in them. You can see this TC is definitely staying for Sparks, and it seems that this one so far is staying as well, especially with the support that Guisao is lending to all the support units in there. Even though he doesn't have all that many upgrades, it seems like absolutely none, because he's sending resources to his allies, so of course. Is he still sending actually? Oh wow, that's one hell of a sling. 10,000 slunk by 20 minutes, that's good. That's actually not half bad. That's working very well, and I think that's the reason why actually Yellow is still able to somehow take all the TCs, get this economy up and whatnot. But where are all the resources actually going? I'm kind of confused a bit. You can see Hero OP is still kind of alive in the middle, but not really all that much, because he doesn't have all that many TCs. He's having just one in the middle of the map, which is kind of waiting to be destroyed, to be honest. Waiting to be destroyed. There is another one potentially available. But in the meantime, of course, the gold is being stolen everywhere. Everywhere in here. And the fire giants, they are a significant pain. So this seems like this is gonna be a beachhead for the opponents for organization of natural uppers. As Tompix is at 4 TCs. Because he is right now looking also at the 5th. It still could be quite interesting, because this is a front TC for Onus still. He needs to be careful, of course, about all of those siege units, but I'm slightly worried that he doesn't have fortified TCs. I'm thinking that's something that you should be really thinking about quite significantly, and the game is gonna be all about him. Right now, it's up to Tompix to win the game for Ukas, because Hero OP and Matreus are more or less insignificant. Well, Matreus is fully insignificant. Hero OP is still kinda in the game. He's at least having quite interesting amount of centaurs in there. That could potentially help with trying to kill all the villages. This is actually gonna be a bit of a massacre in there for a moment, but all those fire giants just got in here. Guisao taking the 30C. Yeah, well, it seems that it's gonna be working quite fine. And they have also secured 3 gold mines for themselves. 3 gold mines. And oh well. That's looking quite promising right now for ONUs. And it almost seems like at this point that we might be just actually heading into the decider on this map. Or rather, in this match, because it... Oh, this is an interesting claim by Hero OP actually. Can he finish? Can he finish with his home TC? Actually, he can. Yeah, he can finish with his own TC, so this is an important battle. Important little battle, an important part of the game. This is getting so close, but yet, right now it is finished. And it's a pretty important little, almost little big victory in here. Because it's gonna be giving the extra population limit, and much more importantly, this is actually like building an extra fortress, hill fort, or some towers in here into a very important battlefield. So this is gonna be going a long way towards actually helping all the siege towers getting rid of the next TC in line for Matreus. And I'm kinda confused why they're actually coming for the TCs and not the underworld passage, because the underworld passage is a much bigger problem. I think they are having their priorities fairly confused, because you can see this is coming all through the underworld passage. This is what the underworld passage, the extent of the problem it is. So, well, unfortunate indeed. But the TC is down. This one is gonna be down, unfortunately, as well. So that's, of course, quite a big loss right now. As it was a big victory. Big little victory. But a little big victory, it doesn't really matter. A bit before for Hero OP right now, it's important loss for him. And little big victory right now for ONUs. Yeah? Because they are having just confused priorities. They just need to get rid of the underworld passage. They don't have replacement their opponents. So if that is gone, suddenly the fight would have to switch into the middle, which is exactly what they want. Because that is where Tompkins is prepared. With all the hill forts and migdals and whatnot. So, of course, they want to switch that. They want to switch that, and for some reason they are just not. As you can see, Guisao even trying to somehow occupy the lands there. And this is gonna be important for another reason. He should have probably built something next to the TC. And next to the TC here as well. Because of the lush. Where the enemy cannot build upon it. So I would be just basically, if I were blue, I would be spamming buildings here. And basically trying to deny the opponents even the attempts of building something in their home bases. Like, for example, even the TC. So, yeah, that's something I would do. But yeah, apparently not the opponents. Oh well, 14 hit points. 14 hit points in there. You can see the lush slowly healing it. And you need just a few hits and this place is down. But yeah, well, not anymore it seems like. Not anymore, as blue is yet again regaining the battle in there. With some nice line of upgrades, at least on the baseline. And for 24 minutes is really nothing nice. But of course it's better than nothing. And is there some kind of interesting fight through the mid? Yes, there is. Tompkins is finally trying to push forward. Getting ever closer to the underworld position from the other side. But of course, right now the 45 DC, missing Masons and Architects, of course, in the long run. And for Piska, he's missing absolutely everything as well. Okay, so there definitely could be some kind of advantage still to be had. And they are making things a bit too easy for Tompkins, to be honest, to push through. And he could be significantly right now housing Piska. And Piska at just one TC, he's not really all that important in the game. He's not having any TCs anywhere. Maybe he could be trying to take this one. Or this one for himself, just to be feeling good. And maybe this one as well. Could be some kind of idea for him. But otherwise, really, this game is all about Tompkins. All about Tompkins, all about this funny trade route. Is this trade route actually more efficient than just getting more villages on this gold? Interesting thought. But with the bonus on the trade cards, on trade caravans in the team games, I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be a bit more efficient. At any rate, right now we are looking at interesting battle here, and of course this is gonna be a lot of raiding, and probably finally Tompkins realizing that if he can stop this economy, then their opponents are gonna be having significant issues dealing with that. But we must return back to the top side, where still the underworld passage is alive, spewing all kinds of nonsenses from the other side of the map into the middle of the man here. In the middle of the map here, and of course it's taking all kinds of strength from Hero OP and Matreus to deal with that. What is though important to notice is that Tompkins set 5 TCs because he has been able to capture this TC that he was looking at for so long. But finally he has it. But he could be also advancing into Mythical Age, because that would help him. And finally the 45 TCs, come on. Yeah, he's just not advancing at all. He should be advancing. He's trying to basically right now I'm thinking he's trying to do a bit too much at the same time. I'm thinking maybe it would be better to just go into the Mythical Age. Relinquish the pressure for a moment. For at least a moment. because catapults are gonna be so much better controlling this little, how's it called, little base. And it would be giving him some very strong god power. Azara, he could be going for Son of Osiris or Tornado. I'm thinking Tornado would be better at this point, because it could be quite deadly in, for example, here. Be killing plenty of economy, plenty of everything. It would be killing also the underworld passage. Or maybe they could be just casting it here and getting rid of both of this duo. That could be also going a long way towards controlling them. But in the meantime, there is an attempt to actually TC yet again for Sparks, as he's probably rebuilt right about now all his economy. I'm thinking he can see he doesn't have any kind of line upgrades. He's having just basically all, well, not even all, he's having iron, double bronze, so he's still missing the last irons in there on the first twos. As in here, yeah, well, slowly pushing forward. It's almost looking like there is gonna be claim, maybe by Tompex, but I don't like it. Tompex is already apparently having problems with the 5 TCs and his economy. So I would be definitely liking if Green was having another attempt at a TC for himself. Yeah, exactly, he seems to be going there. The Hephaestus being clicked and done. And that is important. With Guisao getting a TC, which I think is a TC somewhere here. The one finished or not? Oh, well, I don't know. But Guisao is gonna be trying to take the TC on the right side, which was apparently killed by some kind of attack. I'm not entirely certain what attack, because I don't see any units here that could be basically responsible for it. So I'm not entirely certain what happened. Maybe he just was given to his ally, and his ally, or rather his ally given to him. Not certain. Sorry, not certain at all. But Hero OP has finally taken the TC in there, in the front. Please don't drop. And in the middle as well. So, this is gonna be comeback by Hero OP, because Matreus already has taken a TC on the left side as well about a minute ago. So, we might be looking at a significant comeback by Ukas. And Onus unable to close up, because finally this is gone. Thank you. Finally this is gone. This was the whole reason of the problems. That should have been killed sooner than any TCs in there. But in the meantime, of course, a bit of a concentration on that cost them this TC coming up for yellow, but I don't think it's any kind of problem. And this, you can see this palace, it healed about 280 hit points already in all the time that it was almost dead at 14 hit points just through the lush. So yeah, don't underestimate the lush. It can help you. It can definitely help you. Oh well, so that's that. As here in the battle, it seems that it's gonna be slowly coming for Ukas. Heavy throwing axeman with the upgrades, not much, just the one in bronze, in there. And otherwise, of course, there is gonna be another attempt on the TC at the back as well. So it seems that actually Tompix was able to hold the enemies long enough. Are you really doing this, having economy at the back of your enemy base? Well, possibly. Possibly he was so used to actually being there, I guess why not. So this is gonna be alright, TC down, even through almighty effort by Guisao. Just building plenty of archers is not gonna be helping against siege towers, of course. That's why this TC is down, and we're gonna be looking also at a kind of maybe encroaching attempt on the right side as well. But in the meantime, of course, there is an encroaching attempt on the other side. Sparks actually come in there, and it could be quite dangerous for the trade route. For Tompex, you can see he's already having some idols in there, as he has lost the TC in the middle, and that TC is being right now taken by Piskem. He's gonna be at 2, and all those fire giants are a pretty significant issue, and apparently, so far, Tompex hasn't picked up on that. He is not making priests at all. He has lost plenty of buildings in there. That was double Migdals in here, with some, I think it was Siege Workshop. And he's absolutely not building priests fast enough. Finally, he is at least going for them. And well, bit of a help. He's even stealing that. As Piska is going for the gold side, they are stealing the gold right in front of all those villages in here. And apparently Matreus is oblivious to this fact. Well, happens, not paying enough attention. But it seems like the Tompex, even though Ukas are seeming that they could be actually retaking their home bases, they are gonna be losing the front. And that is an issue for, of course, Tompex, because Tompex still didn't get even into the last age. He's not even having the fortified TCs, which is, I think, a huge mistake on his part. He needs both of them. Otherwise, he can't really stand much of a chance in that. As even though this is looking kind of promising, getting rid of all the buildings in here, my Hero OP together with Tompex as well. Is it gonna be fast enough? I'm not all that sure, as all those Usaks, which were just villages a bit before, are trying to make sure that all the Savers are gonna be helping keeping this TC alive. And that could be working. A starter engage is cast in the middle. In the middle, of course, of Tompix's economy, and that's problem. You can see all the food, all the caravans in here. Oh well, yeah, that will be an issue. All the villages need to actually come home and defend against all of this. Otherwise, they might be all dead in no time. In no time whatsoever. So, TC is of course dead. We have seen that a bit before, but is it gonna be coming under enemy control? I don't think so all that easily. It's probably not really gonna be all that easy. But with yellow right now, he has finally found his way all the way to the top. Gonna be building some longhouses in there with the market by topic stop. And much more importantly, he's absolutely stopping the trade in there. And of course, that is not gonna be great. Especially with the TCs kind of falling as well. With the fortresses falling also. It seems that Pisca is catching the second breath. And even with Tartaring Gate gone, it's not exactly gone. It's not all of it is gone. And even though Pisca is not fully upgraded yet, those medium myrmidons could definitely be getting slightly better. Well, a lot better. Let's be clear about that. They are taking the TC down. Hero OP is gonna be down to 2, and this one is yet again gonna be attempted by Sparks. So even though there was apparently some second breath for Ukas, it seems that Onus, yeah, well, they also breathe again. And they are definitely advancing forward on their enemies, with Son of Osiris going to be the god of choice. Well, the Osiris and his son are gonna be the god of choice for Dompex, and let's see if it's gonna be helping. He definitely cannot cast it somewhere close by to all of those hatches. He can use it, of course, to get rid of the Colossi and potentially the Fire Giants, but at this point, with the TC right now coming into Pisca's hands quite fully, there is also some kind of attempt by maybe here OP trying to do something similar to what is happening by Sparks on the left, but is he gonna be successful in that? I'm not certain, because of course in here, this is already well done. Already very well done. And the trade and overall the gold economy is gonna be plummeting for Dompix. From 5 TCs he's down to 3, and it's not gonna be getting any better, as right now Ukas are recognizing that the game is gonna be finally trickling through their hands, even through the chance they were given. And that will be resulting into a decider for us. So we are tied at 1-1. Both teams taken their home map, and we're gonna be looking into actually random. Nice game. Nice game indeed. Let's go into a post game then. It's gonna be Sparks with having the high score and whatnot, but he was slung significantly, so of course he's gonna be the most important player in there. But I'm really thinking that the fail with the ceasefire and giving the 2 TCs basically for free to the enemies in their bases, I think that sent them into a very dangerous downward spiral. And it took them a very long time to get back from it. They were very good to be even coming back from that. But still, that might have spelled the disaster for them. Interesting. Interesting again. Of course, Guisao, good economy. 14,000 resources tributed to his allies. Yeah, that does count. Military count, units killed. Almost a double in here. Well, actually more than double, sorry. More than double, that's one hell of an efficiency. And unfortunately, Mateusz, yeah, this wasn't his game. It absolutely wasn't his game. You can see even the research is just 7 until the end. Here OP not much better. So yeah, that was the result of the very nicely timed attack in there. Yeah, good economies, even for Dompex, but yeah, he was also the significant reason why they were still even alive. Fortunately, in the end, he couldn't just get the Mythical Age at the correct timing. If he could get it a lot sooner, I think the game could have gone for him. But he just couldn't find the resources in there, it seemed like. Well, GG.